All of a sudden, manufacturing seems to be front and center in our presidential election year. President Obama made it a focal point of his State of the Union address, and plentiful natural gas resources are making it cost-effective once again to make things in America. Now, if we only had enough people to fill the jobs that are opening up. I took a quick look at ImaginePittsburgh.com late last week and found that there were 682 openings for manufacturing jobs in the 10 counties of southwestern Pennsylvania. The skills gap is even more dramatic nationwide. A new survey by Deloitte and the Manufacturing Institute indicates that there's a shortage of 600,000 skilled workers nationwide, with 5% of manufacturing jobs going unfilled, despite a national jobless rate close to 9%. Well, what gives, and what do we do about it? Dmitri Shiry is back with us. He's a partner with Deloitte in Pittsburgh. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Bill, thanks for having me back on the show.
All right. You guys are good. I know you've done great analysis. The numbers make absolutely no sense that we could have these really high unemployment rates in the United States and have 600,000 jobs available.
Well, Bill, I think what's interesting is that this being an election year, clearly we keep hearing the messaging around job creation. Well, it's just not about job creation. It's also about job preservation, and that is providing our workers with the necessary skills to competitively compete for jobs that are currently open in today's economy.
And it looks like in manufacturing, for all the talk that all manufacturing left America, it sounds like there's still plenty of employment opportunities.
There's plenty of employment. However, it's a different type of skilled worker that manufacturers are looking for. I think what's interesting to note is that out of the 1,100 executives that we surveyed, over 83% indicated that this skills gap shortage of qualified workers to fill these positions is principally the result of one primary characteristic, and that is problem-solving skills, problem-solving ability. And what's interesting here is that when you look at manufacturing over the course of the last several years, if you go into a manufacturing facility today, it almost looks like Star Wars. Very sophisticated, highly technical types of business processes. That means that work is getting done differently, but it also requires different skills to do it.
And so that puts a lot more demand on the worker. One reason why manufacturing workers get paid more than average in general.
Yes, absolutely. And when you look at the number of jobs and you look at manufacturing in general, the average manufacturing job commands directionally about $75,000 of compensation, including benefits on an annual basis. These are the types of jobs that we want to keep here in the United States to have our people compete for.
Wow. And so much talk recently with again, the natural gas resources, this idea that some companies are evaluating bringing manufacturing home, the potential to grow manufacturing the industry in America. How are we going to do that? How can we grow this industry if we can't fill the jobs that are available right now?
Well, the good news is there is a remedy. There isn't a silver bullet, but I do think it needs to be a collaborative partnership between the private sector, public policy, the education system, as well as trade groups. So, for example, let me just highlight a development in San Antonio, Texas, where one of the local community colleges down there, Alamo Community College, partnered with manufacturers to go into high schools and begin to develop and introduce a curriculum into the junior and senior years that not only qualified for their high school graduation, but also provided them certification in a very specific area of manufacturing. Given that those manufacturers were supportive of the program, they had first dibs on the graduates coming out, which provided a natural feeder system into their facilities.
So it really takes an integrated approach by government, by the educational infrastructure, and by business to get involved and figure out how to make these connections.
It does, and if I can bring that home even a little bit more locally, just this past week I had a similar conversation with the Wheeling Jesuit University just south of Pittsburgh, down by Wheeling, West Virginia. And they too are looking for a collaborative way to partner with these different constituencies and groups to introduce some level of certification programs into their curriculum to provide an opportunity for people to come to the university who want to get educated, who want to get trained for something other than an undergraduate four-year degree.
Wow, there's a huge opportunity there, especially here in our region. You know, you'd think here in our region this would be a no-brainer given our history and heritage of manufacturing, but I've talked to manufacturers and others who say, you know what, there's a lot of parents in this region who are telling their kids, you don't want to go into manufacturing, you don't want to happen to you what happened to your grandpap, well, you know, when the mills closed. So we got a cultural issue here too that we have to overcome.
Cultural issue, and I would also contend that there's a branding issue. So when you look at manufacturing today, there can be a tendency to still view it as a dirty, unsafe environment, which is by far from the truth. Again, when you go into today's manufacturing facilities, there are some floor shops that you could literally eat off of. That's how clean they are, that's how high-tech they are, that's how automated they are. But again, those types of facilities require a different type of skill set. It really is one that is focused on teaming, and as I previously mentioned, the opportunity to problem solve and take a knowledge and apply it to whatever business challenge is being presented in that manufacturing facility.
Well, a bright future. People need to begin to appreciate it and begin to spread the word, especially to their kids, I guess. Yeah, Dmitri Shiry from Deloitte, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bill, thanks again.
And when we return, the employers that are really making an impact on our region by growing jobs when times are good and even when they're bad. Stay with us.